Hi and welcome to Crypto Coach, where we use examples to simplify even the most difficult ideas. What is Bitcoin Cash? And how does Bitcoin Cash operate? That is the topic that we are going to discuss today in this video. A beginner's guide. Compared to Bitcoin, the proof-of-work blockchain network and cryptocurrency known as Bitcoin Cash is both quicker and less expensive to use Bitcoin. Since its inception as a result of a Bitcoin blockchain hard fork, the asset has established its own fan base. There are a few businesses that take Bitcoin Cash. It can be purchased with PayPal, and it serves as additional means of exchanging value. Many of Bitcoin's long-standing problems were supposed to be addressed by BCH, but its introduction provoked a divide in the crypto community as a result of those attempts. Although both may coexist, many disagree about which asset will be most valuable in the years to come. Let's take a look back at how Bitcoin Cash came to be. On January 3, 2009, the first Bitcoin block, known as the Genesis block, was mined. As a result, the asset has become a household name in recent years. Due to its size and slow transaction times, Bitcoin remains the most widely used cryptocurrency in the world. Here's where Bitcoin Cash comes in. When Bitcoin's transaction speed became a concern, the idea of Bitcoin Cash was born in 2017. Since block 478,558 of the Bitcoin blockchain was split in two, this is a hard fork of the blockchain. Each node must upgrade to the new chain to continue using it after that block contains a fundamental protocol change that invalidates all earlier blocks. It's basically a big software update. But the old network keeps going in a different direction than the new one. In this case, the previous network is Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin Cash fork made its own future. Different miners and developers on the Bitcoin network decided on the fork because they wanted to get rid of its limitations. After all, a lot of people think that Bitcoin is meant to be used for digital transactions, not as a way to save money. How can Bitcoin be popular with the general public if transactions take minutes or even hours? Not to mention the high fees for making transactions. Those opposed to the hard fork, on the other hand, did so for a variety of reasons. Larger blocks need more sophisticated mining processes that could wipe out miners with low computer power. For example, Bitcoin Cash contains larger blocks. In a sense, this might lead to a concentration of power in the hands of the most powerful miners, such as companies. Afterwards, there's the practice of forking. All Bitcoin holders receive the same amount of Bitcoin Cash at the time of the fork. However, some have claimed that this was a get-rich-quick tactic for hard forks. On the other side of the coin's proponent Roger Ver is a counterclaim. Ver, an early Bitcoin investor, is a believer in the potential of cryptocurrencies and other cutting-edge ideas. One of the first websites to accept Bitcoin payments was memorydealers.com, which he founded in 2011. Since then, he has arranged gatherings and seminars on the subject of Bitcoin technology. Bitcoin Cash and its enhancements to Bitcoin's technology are Ver's favorite projects, and he has invested millions of dollars in them. To him, this makes it easier to use than Bitcoin. Many cryptocurrency aficionados refer to Ver as Bitcoin Jesus. Bitcoin Cash was interesting because it eventually split into Bitcoin Cash ABC, also known as BCH and Bitcoin SV/BSV. The first is similar to the original Bitcoin Cash, with only a few differences. It puts 8% of every block reward back into improving the network. This is like paying the open source developers a salary. Bitcoin Cash only gets money from donations, so in a way, Bitcoin Cash ABC is more focused on developers. Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, or Bitcoin SV, has other differences. The title Satoshi Vision comes from the original Bitcoin white paper, which didn't call for solutions like the Lightning Network that work off-chain and on a second layer. The main goal of Bitcoin SV is to make sure it stays stable. To do this, it proposes even bigger block sizes than Bitcoin Cash, with a big jump to 128 megabytes. But in the end, it was decided that there shouldn't be a limit until 1 billion transactions have been made. The community will then be able to see what stresses the network and what doesn't, and could vote on putting a limit on block size. Craig Wright, an Australian scientist who claims to be a completely anonymous Satoshi Nakamoto, is leading the BSV effort. The Bitcoin Cash network has completed a number of significant milestones, despite some in the cryptocurrency industry questioning its worth. At one point in early 2021, on the platform's scaling testnet, it allegedly managed to accommodate 16.4 million transactions into a single block. So, how exactly does Bitcoin Cash work? In terms of how it works, Bitcoin Cash is similar to Bitcoin. Both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin use a POW consensus process and have a 21 million asset hard cap. Using computer power, miners validate transactions and are rewarded in Bitcoin Cash for their contributions. Nonetheless, the greater block size of Bitcoin Cash allows it to run faster and at lower fees than its previous model. You can buy a cup of coffee for a lot less money with cryptocurrency, making it ideal for minor transactions. Smart contracts and apps like Cash Shuffle and Cash Fusion are also supported by Bitcoin Cash. Cash Shuffle, a coin mixing method that shuffles your Bitcoin Cash with those of other holders before a transaction, is available to Bitcoin Cash holders using specific wallets. Because Bitcoin Cash is a public ledger, your transactions are significantly more difficult to track. Coin mixing isn't always accurate. Starting with a third-party service, which is all considering crypto's goal of autonomy or pseudonymity. Consumers must trust it. Mixing can cost money, which isn't ideal for individuals who frequently transact. The money flowing into cryptocurrency mixers has been the attention of some authorities, which allege that it was obtained via unlawful means. Instead of combining your Bitcoin Cash with that of other users, Cash Fusion places it in a single massive transaction with all of the other Cash Fusion users. Your wallet is then refilled with Bitcoin Cash. But the transaction is so muddled with other transactions that hopefully no one can find a way back to your wallet. The Bitcoin Cash ecosystem has a wide range of applications, but these are just two of them. Plenty of other protocols and initiatives have sprung up in response to Bitcoin Cash's success, aiming to make the technology more widely usable. Now, let's discuss Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash. What's the difference? What distinguishes Bitcoin from Bitcoin Cash then? Compared to Bitcoin's 1,000-1,500 transactions per block, Bitcoin Cash can support 25,000 transactions per block. A following was established as a result of the block size increase from 1 to 8 megabytes. As a result, Bitcoin Cash is one of the most widely used Bitcoin forks and is ranked among the top 20 cryptocurrencies. Since then, Bitcoin Cash's block size has increased to 32 megabytes. Note that at the time of the fork, Bitcoin was developing its own solution to these issues. At the time Bitcoin Cash was created, Segregated Witness, or SegWit, was a planned upgrade that aimed to move transactions to off-chain solutions in the hopes of accelerating transaction processing. Many people were unhappy, which is why the Bitcoin Cash hard fork occurred. When it first came out, Bitcoin Cash was worth about $240 per coin. Since then, it has gone up a lot more. Its price hasn't gotten anywhere near as high as Bitcoin's. But since Bitcoin Cash is meant to be used as a form of payment, this may work in its favor. The higher price of Bitcoin, on the other hand, makes it more useful as a way to store value. It's important to note that larger block sizes and faster validation tend to be more useful for businesses. Smaller transactions are easy for a restaurant to handle with Bitcoin Cash, but Bitcoin still has trouble with this. This solution can also be used to give online tips to creators or make donations. It's easy to see why some people like Bitcoin Cash better than Bitcoin, which was the first cryptocurrency in the world. Still, Bitcoin Cash has some problems. For one thing, the name can be hard for new investors to understand, which is something that probably should have been thought about before the hard fork. Bitcoin Cash can look like a copy of Bitcoin to people who haven't used it before. Some people may find it hard to understand because they don't know what makes Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash different. In addition, Bitcoin Cash is far less expensive than Bitcoin and has a smaller share of the cryptocurrency market than Bitcoin, which could lead to fewer people wanting to mine on Bitcoin Cash's network. Since Bitcoin can be utilized on all exchanges and traded with hundreds or thousands of other cryptocurrencies, the asset simply does not have as many trading pairings as Bitcoin. To put it another way, Bitcoin Cash serves a different purpose than Bitcoin. Does Bitcoin Cash depend on Bitcoin? If Bitcoin's price rises, Bitcoin Cash usually follows. Reasons: Bitcoin Cash is a top cryptocurrency, therefore big spenders may wish to diversify as the market rises. What about buying and using Bitcoin Cash? Bitcoin Cash is a listed asset that can be bought, sold, and traded on several well-known exchanges. It's generally simple to join up for an exchange, albeit it may not be possible to do so anonymously since the majority of significant exchanges need photo identification for Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering purposes, and in certain cases, residence and income proof. Alternatively, a few Bitcoin ATMs have the asset available. If you decide to choose this path, you should look for some in your neighborhood. PayPal also accepts Bitcoin Cash, depending on your country of residency. What is the purpose of Bitcoin Cash? To begin with, using Bitcoin Cash is easy. If you have it, all you have to do is transmit the assets to a wallet using its address. The recipient can be a customer or a business. Bitcoin Cash and other cryptocurrencies are accepted by a number of businesses throughout the world. The asset may also be accepted by websites devoted to travel, goods and services, e-commerce, and a host of other things. Sadly, for Bitcoin Cash supporters and owners, the cryptocurrency is not as well liked as Bitcoin itself. If you're looking for businesses that accept Bitcoin, you'll have a considerably easier time finding one. Moving on to Bitcoin Cash's future. Bitcoin Cash is definitely finding its own place in the market when it comes to the future of cryptocurrencies. Even though Bitcoin is more well known, much of that interest will surely move to Bitcoin Cash as more stores start to accept it. At the end of the day, there's no doubt that Bitcoin Cash is a faster and cheaper network. But Bitcoin Cash is in competition with other projects like Litecoin, LTC, which is often right next to the asset in terms of market capitalization. Still, Litecoin is different from Bitcoin Cash in some ways, and it has its own set of pros and cons. It really comes down to which platform meets the needs of a certain user and which platform has the features that the general public will want more. If you enjoyed this video, please support our channel by clicking like and subscribe so you don't miss a future video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.